So we are speaking here of the avatar
Yes.
and what he has to go through,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see how difficult it is in human degrees, how absolutely painful it is.
All things come to its ear, but nothing abides. All rose from the silence, all goes back to its hush.
Carry on.
It's somnolent, somnolent,
Somnol- Somnolence, yes,
som,
somnolence.
its somnolence founded the universe. Its obscure waking makes the world seem vain. Arisen from nothingness, and towards nothingness turned. Its dark and potent nescience was Earth's start. It is the waste stuff from which all was made. Into its deeps, creation can collapse.
Well, we have quite a bit here. The word is nescience.
Nations,
Nescience. Nescience.
nations.
Nescience. And then the word somnolence.
Som-
Somnolence is a sleepiness.
oh, so like somnambulant,
Uh,
like derived from that, not like I mean, not the same meaning, but the sleep
yeah,
state. Yeah.
yes, yes. Somnolence is correct. Now, just give me a second, and I want to go through this a little bit more uh, depth. Sam, um, oh, I finally got this one open. Also, very good. Must be a good morning for both of us here. So, come on now. Ah, very good, very good. So, we have its somnolence founded the universe. What is
Yeah.
somnolence? Is a state of sleepiness.
Yeah.
Okay, what does founded mean?
To start, to find, to found, like found a company, or like basically it was how the universe started.
To originate, to
Yeah,
create.
originate. Yeah.
And its obscure waking makes the world seem vain.
Hmm.
And this idea, you see, that it's arisen from nothingness, and towards nothingness turned,
Yeah.
that is the quality of non existence.
Yes.
And so he seeks, speaking here of the beginning of the earth.
Hmm.
It's dark and potent
Okay.
nescience was earth starts.
Hmm.
Potent, of course, is very powerful,
Yes.
very powerful.
Yeah.
But nescience is the complete self ignorance, Sri Aurobindo tells us. It's the complete self ignorance.
Hmm.
And we can go on because it is the waste stuff from which all was made. He speaks of it as the waste stuff
Hmm.
into its deeps, into its
Hmm.
deeps here.
Yeah.
Creation can collapse.
Collapse.
Let's see what else he says now, because this is an opposition to the truth and to the creation that he
Hmm.
speaks.
Its opposition clogs the march of the soul. It is the mother of our ignorance. He must call light into its dark abysses, else never can truth conquer matter's sleep, and all earth look into the eyes of God.
Oh, wow. Have we done truth and matter?
Uh, I think truth no, and matter yes.
Matter, I know we've done, yes.
Yeah.
But let's do truth in the lexicon because this is so very, very important.
Yeah.
Good.
Truth. I'm jumping to Sri Aurobindo.
Yes.
Science started on the assumption that the ultimate truth must be physical and objective, and the objective ultimate, or even less than that, would explain all subjective phenomena. Yoga proceeds on the opposite view that the ultimate truth is spiritual and subjective, and it is in that ultimate light that we must view objective phenomena.
Ah, yes. Very clear.
Hmm.
Very clear. So the ultimate truth has to be both physical and objective.
Objective.
This is science's assumption.
Hmm.
Doesn't even say it's science's truth. He
Mm-hmm.
says it's just science's assumption.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
And or even less than that, he says it would explain all things. That it's viewed at the old, but where am I here? Okay, but yoga proceeds on the opposite view
Hmm.
that the ultimate truth is not physical
Hmm.
and objective, but it is spiritual and subjective.
Yeah.
Just totally the opposite, huh?
Yeah.
And we can understand that now. Even with our minds, we can understand that this is certainly true.
Hmm.
That we have to view everything first from the viewpoint of the spiritual truth and view it subjectively,
Hmm.
not objectively.
Hmm.
So this idea of understanding the world because you can see it or feel it is known as empirical science.
Hmm. Empirical science. Okay.
And it lasted for centuries.
Okay.
Sri Aurobindo says it's just the opposite.
Disagree.
The ultimate truth is spiritual, and we have to look at and it's subjective. Subjective, you see, that's interesting because objective, yeah, we can touch it, we can feel it, we can begin to understand it mentally. Okay, I know what a pair of glasses is. I can
Hmm.
describe them to you exactly. I
Yeah.
can tell you how they're made, but
Yeah.
that is empiricism. That is objective.
Okay.
Subjective, we have to understand. Let me just get this just a moment from Nilisha, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Now, yeah, let's carry on with the rest of the comments because Mother says a lot to us. Also,
Yeah. Yeah.
she has 3 comments there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was also just meanwhile just looking at the empirical science definition. So I was just reading that. So shall I also read that?
Sure. Very good
So
idea.
the Google says it's empirical science is abstract, and empirical science either one which, as the term implies, is supported by the evidence of the senses, or one which is built out of the elements of experience. Physical
So,
science, beginning and ending in sensory phenomena, is an example of the first kind. Psychology is an example of the second.
so it's very clear, huh? The first
Mm.
kind is you got to see it, you got to touch it, you
Touch
got
it.
to feel it. You
Yeah.
can only understand it in that way.
Yeah.
And secondly, even psychology, you have to understand it with the mind.
Mind. Yeah.
But in our yoga, the mind is such a limited instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good thing that you read that. Very good. So let's go on now to the foundations of Indian culture.
The supreme truths are neither the rigid conclusions of logical reasoning nor the affirmations of creedal statement, but fruits of soul's inner experience. Intellectual truth is only one of the doors to the outer presence of the temple,
Pre-
foundations of precincts,
precincts.
precincts.
Oh, and it's beautifully, beautifully written. So there's a touch of humor here.
Mm,
That intellectual truth is only one of the doors to the outer precincts of the temple, not
mm,
the inner, not
mm,
the inner. It's just a door, an outer door to get in a little bit.
mm,
And he's very clear when he says the supreme truths are not these rigid conclusions of logical reasoning. Well, that was your second statement
mm.
when you read about um,
The empirical science, the second kind.
empirical science. That was the
Yeah,
second statement.
yeah.
Nor the affirmations of creedal. Creedal means uh, a creed is a fixed statement. We have in Christianity the Apostles' Creed,
Mm,
and it begins with, I believe in God the Father. That's how it begins. It's a
mm,
long creed. So that's a creedal statement.
mm,
When one has creeds, one doesn't use the mind anymore.
mm,
One just believes it,
mm,
accepts it.
mm,
Empirical science just accepts those things.
mm.
And he says, but it's the fruits of the soul's inner experience. Wow. Carry on.
Truth is the secret of life and power. Human cycle. The mother. The truth is something living, moving, expressing itself at each second, and it is one way of approaching the Supreme.
Isn't that a very interesting statement?
Yeah.
And that it's something that is living and moving and expressing itself at each second.
Mm.
So truth is not linear. But that's the next line. But
Yeah.
I'm looking into myself
Yeah.
and seeing that that truth is something that is always moving.
Mm.
We let's go on till the end of those two statements, and we can
Yeah.
talk more.
The truth is not linear but global. It is not successive but simultaneous. Therefore, it cannot be expressed in words. It has to be lived. Truth is a difficult and strenuous conquest. One must be a real warrior to make this conquest. A warrior who fears nothing, neither enemies nor death. For with or against everybody, with or without a body, the struggle continues and will end by victory.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we see how difficult a conquest
Yeah.
and strenuous a conquest truth really is.
Hmm.
And we have to be a real warrior to make it, to
Hmm.
fight truth. Someone who fears nothing. You
Yeah.
see, the greatest saints in the past have been killed for their statements of truth,
Hmm.
which the church couldn't accept.
Yeah.
During the Inquisition, we have seen so much horror.
Hmm.
People killed because they believed in something that was true.
Hmm.
It might have only been something momentarily,
Hmm.
like a belief in, well, maybe it was a belief in Christ or something. But Mother says truth is not linear,
Hmm.
but is global.
Hmm.
And it doesn't come successively in different degrees, but it comes simultaneously.
Hmm.
It's global and it's coming at the same moment.
Yeah.
And therefore, you can't you have to live it. You can't express it always
Yeah.
because it's always moving and it's always expressing itself at each second.
Hmm.
But she says, and it is one way of approaching the Supreme. Why
Hmm.
does she say it's just one way? Well, there are many other ways of approaching the Supreme. Can you tell me a few?
With the, I mean, the main thing with that is coming is living with a quality, putting in sincerity or putting in gratitude.
Yes, yes. Sincerity, gratitude.
Yeah.
What
And
about surrender?
surrender. Yes, surrender.
Love? What about love?
Yes, also love.
See? So many, Mother
Yeah.
says truth is just one way
Yeah.
approaching the Supreme. See,
Yeah.
Mother is so vast.
Hmm.
When she speaks, she's so vast.
Hmm.
Okay, now we carry on a little while because we have a ways to go here.
Yeah. All things obscure, his knowledge must relume.
Relume.
Relume. All
I think
things
it's relume.
relume.
If we say repeat,
Repeat. Okay, relume.
reconstitute,
Yeah,
relume.
relume.
Okay.
All things obscure, his knowledge must relume. All things perverse, his power must unknot. He must pass to the other shore of falsehood's sea. He must enter the world's dark to bring their light. Yeah, this is in the again in the same lines of how he had spoken in the previous pages also, as to how Avatar must live through, and how also you were commenting about Amal Kiran, how Sri Aurobindo said that he has to take the human body to transcend many things,
And to help us transform
transform.
ourselves.
Yeah.
So this word relume
Hmm.
means to illuminate again,
Ah.
to brighten again. He has to lighten or brighten it again. He has to
Oh.
even rekindle the light.
Okay, got it. Like loom, luminate.
Yes, illuminate,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Very good, very good. Can you see, Prema, how, let's say, looking back many months, you wouldn't have known any of this?
Yeah, I definitely agree on the progress Savitri has brought to myself.
It's wonderful to see this, to
Yeah.
for me to experience this in you. Now you are explaining lines that were totally foreign to you before.
Mm,
This is the grace. This
yeah.
is the divine grace.
And thank you so much for your patience and
No, no,
holding.
no. not me, not me.
No,
It's
it's
all
your humility. It's your humility saying not me, but it definitely you have a huge role in this. I do agree it's grace, but it's also your presence. So
thank you.
yeah.
All things perverse his power must
I'm
unknot.
not.
When someone is perverse, they turn from what is right and good.
Mm-hmm.
They become perverted. Perverse is perverted, huh?
Forward. Yeah.
And if you persist in falsehood or
Mm-hmm.
error, that is perverse.
Mm.
So he sees this challenge for the avatar as a knot. Now we have in history, in mythical history, the Gordian knot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a knot that cannot be untied, and the hero must cut it with his sword. And you can look it up. It's a very interesting story. Gordian,
Mm.
Gordian knot, G O R D
Gordina.
G
Okay.
O R D I A N knot. But Sri Aurobindo is much more gentle with us. And he says that his power has to untie this
Mm-hmm.
knot. He
Yeah.
doesn't say he has to cut it off.
Yeah.
He said he has to unknot
Un-
it.
yeah.
It's a very different feeling, isn't it, Hannah?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you know what it is to struggle to unknot a very tight
Untangle.
knot. And
Yes.
and it's not something that you can just cut.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he must pass to the other shore of falsehood's sea. He must enter the world's dark to bring there light.
Mm.
And in book 2, we have seen where the avatar has to go down and meet the mother of darkness and the sons of evil. It's
Mm.
a it's a very difficult section to get through.
We haven't covered book two yet, but I'm now like interested. Maybe that would be nice to begin that.
I think
We
it would.
yeah.
It would. After we finish this
Yes.
canto, perhaps, yes. So carry on. The heart of evil.
The heart of evil the heart of evil must be bared to his eyes. He must learn its cosmic dark necessity, its right and its dire roots in nature's soil.
Wow.
I'm going to
So
read that again, Narad.
it's
He,
okay. Go again.
he
The
must
heart.
enter the world's dark to bring their light. The heart of evil must be bared to his eyes. He must learn its cosmic dark necessity, its right and its dire roots in nature's soil. Hmm.
Yeah. The only thing I would
Wow.
change is the first line could be made a little more, shall I say, intense.
Okay.
He must enter the world's dark to bring their light.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, you see the
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah, I
Good,
see the difference.
good, good.
He must enter the world's dark to bring their light.
Yes, very different feeling, huh? Because light then becomes so much more important.
Yes, so much more powerful also.
Yes, and when we become more and more conscious of these lines, we we enter the mystical feeling of the mantra.
Hmm.
He must enter the world's dark to bring their light. So we have he must enter, da 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 da. That's an anapest, three
Hmm.
beats in one. Three beats in one. He must enter the world's dark to bring their light. So all the rest is I am. And what is I am? What is an
The
I?
the pentameter beat.
Yeah, and how does the I am sound?
I don't get the question. How does the I am sound? As in that that like it's like um
It's
he must call light into its dark abysses.
okay. We'll do it a little easier. We'll take an
Okay.
easier. We'll take and all earth look into the eyes of God.
Okay.
Here's the way the I am sounds. Short, long. I
Okay.
am always short, long. And
Okay.
all earth look into the eyes of God.
Okay.
So the first syllable is short, the second one is long. That is the definition of an I am.
Okay.
It's important. And an anapest is three beats in one.
Okay. Okay.
So we actually have two anapests in He Must Pass to the Other Shore of Falsehood Sea. Or we can't beat it in 5 beats.
Okay.
So it's He Must Pass to the Other Shore of Falsehood Sea.
C. Oh, so the falsehood C will go as like one beat.
Of Falsehood Sea.
C.
Of Falsehood Sea. 2
C.
beats.
Okay.
Feel it? Of Falsehood Sea.
C. Okay. He must pass to the other shore of falsehood sea.
And let's beat it together. He
Okay.
must pass to
Pass
the
to the
other
other
shore
shore
of
of
Falsehood
falsehood sea.
Sea. So this gives you a little taste of what the greatest composition of poetry is, and that is the iambic, and that's I am, short, long,
Short, long.
pentameter, 5 meter,
Yeah.
5 beats.
Yeah.
Iambic pentameter, 5 beat meter. And here's an easy one. And all earth look into the eyes of God. All
And
things
all
obscure is
pure is
knowledge.
knowledge must relume. Relume.
Now, you see, nobody understands this who just cursorily reads Savitri.
I still have not understood. I was just thinking maybe every time, like, every class we just do one or two lines like this in the beats. So,
It's,
because it's still like, I'm like, well, what's happening?
you
But it's
get,
really nice. I'm getting the hang of it.
it will take some time. It doesn't matter. But let's go.
We did till its right and its dire roots in nature's soil.
We have to go. We have to go 3 lines more, and we'll 3 lines more of 4, and we'll give it up because it is so beautiful. This ending.
Yeah. So we stop at the sun. He knows his son.
Uh, we're going to stop at and know God's darkness as He knows His Son.
Yes. Yeah.
That's our ending for today, and it's a
Okay.
beautiful ending.
Yes, it is.
We carry on.
Yeah. He must know the thought that moves the demon act. Now I can hear the beats in my head.
And I heard you reading the beats. I heard it. I heard it in the line. That's wonderful.
He must know the thought that moves the demon act. He justifies the Titan's erring pride
Oh, and justifies.
and justifies the Titan's erring pride and the falsehood lurking in earth's crooked dreams. Narad, now I can't stop it. It's going on in my head with the beats.
It's
It's
okay.
really good.
Yes, it's very good. There's only one proviso, and that is if I read every line
Huh?
exactly like with the same beat, for this he must go down into the pit. For this he must be.
I get where you're getting at. Yeah, I got you.
You would
It's
fall asleep. You would fall asleep in a few seconds. You say, I can't. And people read like that. People read like that. You can't do that. You
yeah,
must know it's there. You must feel it's there
yeah,
because the mantra is hidden within it.
yeah, yeah.
But we cannot read every line just like that, dull and
Yes, got
flat.
it. Yeah.
Good. So next week we're going to take up the Titan because I don't think we've done the Titan.
Yeah, we can start with that. I think we did, but you read it. I think I haven't read it. So
Yeah, and
I finished with the last two lines also. He must enter the eternity of night and know God's darkness as he knows his sun.
what a beautiful, beautiful line, huh? I mean, it's not an easy line, but it's so beautiful
Yeah.
because because the avatar has to know all the evil and all the darkness in the world.
Hmm.
And he says this later to Savitri and says that, you have to know all of this in
Hmm.
order to change it.
Hmm.
And when we get into death and Savitri, oh my God,
Hmm.
when Satyavan dies in her lap, oh, it's painful.
Yeah.
It's it's so poignant. Uh,
Hmm.
and then she meets death, and they go through this incredible place. I'm there with Alina now,
Hmm.
and it seems never to end, and it's darkness, and it's gray, and it's not evil
Hmm.
because death is not evil.
Hmm.
Death, yeah, he has a great love of himself, and he feels he's the savior of the world. But
Hmm.
but he is helping us because
Hmm.
how can we continue to live in a body that refuses to grow anymore?
Yeah.
And you have seen this even in your life. You have
Yeah.
seen people who have just given up
Yeah.
on the search for truth and they live their life out mechanically.
Hmm.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
We've all seen it.
Yeah.
Maybe in parents, maybe in parents, maybe
Yeah.
in friends, maybe
Yeah.
in grandparents or relatives.
Hmm.
This Nilisha just returned from Pune,
Hmm.
and grandfather is 95 years old and he's still painting.
Hmm. Wow.
That's an example, you see.
Wow. Yeah, that's really an example.
But his wife never stops scolding him and everything else. She never lets up on him.
Hmm.
He's learned to just accept it and carry on with his work.
Hmm. Wow.
He doesn't fight, he just does his work. Well, we had a good morning, didn't we?
Yes, yes, yes. Should I
Okay.
read from top or we stop?
Read from the top always.
Thank you.
Yes.
All things comes to its ear, but nothing abides. All rose from the silence, all goes back to its hush. Its somnolence founded the universe. Its obscure waking makes the world seem vain. arisen from nothingness,
Arisen, it's past
arisen,
tense. Past tense.
arisen from nothingness, and towards nothingness turned. Its dark and potent nescience was earth's start,
Yes, but it's potent, not potent. Potent.
potent, potent,
Like potential.
yeah,
Potential.
okay,
Potent.
potent. It is the waste stuff from which all was made. Into its deeps, creation can collapse. Its opposition clogs the march of the soul. It is the mother of our ignorance. He must call light into its dark abysms, else never can truth conquer matter's sleep, and all earth look into the eyes of God.
Yes, but and all earth look into the eyes of God. And
And all earth look into the eyes of God.
better.
All things obscure, his knowledge must relume. All things perverse, his power must unknot. He must pass to the other shore of falsehood's sea. He must enter the world's dark to bring their light. The heart of evil must be bared to his eyes. He must learn its cosmic dark necessity, its right and its dire roots in nature's soil. He must know the thought that moves the demon act and justifies the Titan's erring pride, and the falsehood lurking in earth's crooked dreams. He must enter the eternity of night and know God's darkness as he knows his sun.
Well,
I
we
think the
have,
last lines, I mean, all of the lines are really powerful, but especially like the last one, he must enter the eternity of night and knows darkness as he knows his sun, kind of is speaking to me so much right now, because it's good to know my bright sides. Yes, I'm very familiar with that. I'm very happy of that. I'm very grateful for that. But when I face my difficulties, when I see the sides I do not like in myself, the habits I want to let go of, but I cannot. But even there, this light, it's in some way like speaking to me that I also have to know that, because it's not only the bright, it's also this other sides of me which must also, transform, or
and
rather become light.
that is why we have to call the light into the darkness of our nature.
Yeah.
And that's why I always try to end on a very high note.
Yes.
I don't, this is always conscious.
Yes. Yes.
Good. Oh, Prema, I do love you. You're making such good progress.
Thank you so much, Narad.
Namaste.
Namaste.